All right. Welcome and bienvenue. Welcome to the Mohole. I'm Molly. There's going to be discussion of some potentially sensitive subjects, so if you are concerned you might be triggered or gravely upset, perhaps this isn't the one for you. I've been gone a while, much longer than anticipated. A few months ago, my robot vacuum knocked the laptop off of the coffee table and killed it. It took a couple of months to get sorted with a new machine. And as soon as that happened, they started doing construction on my building. And that lasted 3 or 4 months. And every time I thought they were done, they would start making a lot of noise in the middle of the afternoon. And it sounded like it was right outside my window, so it really didn't work out so well for recording. Then there was the holidays and more construction afterwards. And more recently, I've experienced some deaths in my family circles. My aunt passed away after a very long battle with Parkinson's disease. And then this is where it gets sticky. Certain things about my upbringing weren't so great. I had a parent who was deeply troubled, had some probable mental health issues, and hated me, for lack of a less simplistic way of putting it. Resented me, maybe, is the better term. I'm not sure. But she was very volatile and abusive. And when I became an adult, people thought that distance, us not living together and all of that, things would be better, but things were never better. She couldn't talk to me for more than 5 minutes without starting to scream and yell at me. And many years ago, I was disowned. And whenever people ask me about her and I say that, usually they say, "Oh, I'm so sorry." But I have never been. It was the most freeing thing that ever happened to me in my entire life. Not having that toxic influence made all of the difference. It took a lot of years and a lot of difficulties, but I managed to overcome some of what she did to me, because she caused a lot of psychological damage. And some of it I think I've gotten past, mostly. And some of it is so deeply ingrained into my psyche that it's just part of who I am. And I'm lucky that I have people in my life who understand and can accept that, because some of it causes me to do some not so normal things probably. But I digress. Anyways, she was probably going to live forever. That was the general consensus, because as even she said, and Billy Joel told us all, only the good die young. And then a couple of weeks ago, I got a phone call from my aunt, her sister, who I have remained close with through my whole life, and I'm still very close with, that she died. And it's been kind of strange. Everyone's like, "How do you feel? Are you okay?" Some people say, "I'm sorry for your loss," but I don't feel that loss because she's been gone to me for years. So it's been kind of weird. And everybody keeps trying to focus on the good things because she was a very difficult person, especially for my aunt, who's been really devastated because the week before this, their uncle died. And so she's just been taking it very hard. I think she's better now, but especially at first, it really hit her. And I can't find the positives the way other people can. I've actually had a day where I was just sunk into a very deep hole because I woke up with a chorus of things going through my mind that she would say to me that weren't very nice. And she would say them over and over. And it really put me in a sad place. Not that I felt like I was that kid again, just the sadness that, like, this is who she was. This is who she was to me. She just, I can't explain it very well. And I don't really want to go into too much detail for many reasons, partly because a lot of the way I got over a lot of things was to dig a big hole and bury them and cover them in concrete. So I don't want to dig a lot of that stuff up, and that's why I was such a bad way that one day, because things were dug up. But I think I'm past that moment now. But it's been a really weird couple of weeks. I had to go to a Shiva on my birthday. Shiva is kind of like a Jewish wake, I guess. You sit Shiva for 7 days, but in this virtual age, there's usually only 1 or 2 days because it's hard to assemble enough people to do the little service that goes along with it. My poor aunt was so upset because she forgot that it was my birthday. And she emailed me a couple of days later to apologize for forgetting my birthday, which I knew she did because she was going through a lot. But it kind of put a sad note on my birthday to have to go to essentially a remembrance for someone I don't want to remember. And so I was in a really sad place. I realized that she still didn't take responsibility for anything. That she was still holding me responsible. She didn't feel any kind of remorse or regret or realization that she had ever wronged. And that affirmed what I had been telling my aunt for the past few years, that I could not let her toxic influence back into my life. I just couldn't. And I felt really badly because I couldn't be there for my aunt and help her ease her burden, for lack of a better way of putting it. I understand why my aunt was every so often trying to broker peace, but I just couldn't do that, not even for her, because my mental health would not have been able to take having her back in my life when it was apparent that she was still going to be a very likely toxic influence in my life. So that's the gist of what's been going on. And I am okay. I have moved past that whole thing, and now I'm back to the present and onwards and sideways. So next time it'll be something lighter and more fluffy. Remember the golden rule: don't be a dick. Toodles.